Welcome to the Just Jamie podcast. On today's episode, I am joined by Tim Nigro. He is a recent college grad. He has a fabulous new job, and he's an author. And besides Boomer Esiason, I think he might be Long Island's favorite son. I'm thinking so, right? And he has a fabulous new haircut. So I don't know if you got the haircut just for today, but you can lie to me and tell me you did.
It was just for you.
See? You're a very good liar, Tim.
Thank you.
So I'm going to link our episode because I was a guest on your podcast earlier this summer. I can't believe it was June already.
Yeah.
And people can catch up on that episode. But I thought today would be a fun catch up. You can introduce yourself in a second, but I thought we would talk about sort of the pressures of leaving college and whether it's family pressures or society and the getting of the new job and that type of thing. And then also talk about taking a leap and taking a risk. And we'll talk about that as it kind of ties to your book. And then I need you to explain all things crypto. And so no pressure.
It would be my honor.
No pressure. So introduce yourself to the people.
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Tim Nigro. I'm the host of Locked In with Tim. Not too many episodes on there just because we've been busy doing other stuff. We're going to be more consistent. That's one of the things I preach. So, but anyway, I work for Suffolk County government. I do community relations. I do media, social media, news media, and the like. And then I just published a book, Central Bank Digital Currencies. I'll show it to the camera. I got a copy right here.
Definitely. Plug.
Plug.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm working on a new kind of like a business venture with a few people. It's called ambiarc.com where you can, for crypto. It's all about crypto. So when we get into crypto, I'll talk about that. Yeah, so I've been working on that. And graduate of Siena College. Go Saints. That's about sums me up.
Okay. So, and just so people know, so your mom is married to my sister. Your mom is my brother-in-law's cousin, because that would be weird if they were married. That would be a whole different kind of podcast.
That would be crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So my sister's husband is your mom's cousin.
Yes, first cousin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the relation.
That was a close one. Otherwise, it would be very Young and the Restless, right?
Well, I mean, both Irish, small island.
That's hilarious. Yes. So that's kind of how we know each other. And I feel like ever since our first episode, sort of kindred spirits, because I think we are very much risk takers and sort of leave it all on the field type of people. And maybe we'll start with, so given your personality and sort of going to Siena College and recently graduating, did you start feeling a ton of pressure leading up to graduation? Did you kind of have a plan for yourself? What was the last maybe 6 months, or when did you start feeling it, if at all, I should say? Yeah,
that's a good question. So I'm a planner. I like to plan ahead. I tend to think I like to plan ahead, but I like to plan ahead. But the plan doesn't always go according to the plan, but it's good to have one. You should always have one. So I graduated a year early, actually, and that was something that I planned out. Like, I knew I was going to do that. It wasn't. Sometimes people accidentally take too many credits, and then they're like, "Oh, you can leave the school in 3 months." So that wasn't me. I was on top of everything. That actually happens at school. That blew me away. They're like,
well, I had to pick a double major because I had taken summer classes, sorry to interrupt, classes for statistics and Spanish to get it over with. And then I didn't want to graduate early, so I started doubling down on some classes. So I too sort of I miscalculated, but I was glad to get statistics over with over the summer. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, no. Some people, they double up too, just to stay longer. And I kind of started the process to apply to the law schools. So I've decided to put that off like another 3 months, 4 months or so. But, or even like a year till next July. Because one of the benefits that I get is my union will pay for my JD, which is big, which is super
incredible.
cool. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, which is awesome. Something that the Suffolk County government negotiated. So as long as you work for the county for a year, and then they'll pay for your JD or your MBA. So I think we're gonna do both. I think
So
I'll do the
did you
program.
did you put it off knowing, like, once you got this job where it made just fiscal sense to do that, or were you putting it off because this job came up and you wanted to give it a try? And because I can see that it feeds into your love of communication and social and things like that, or did they just, was it a happy coincidence?
Yeah, that's a good question. So my plan was originally to go to law school beginning last August, and that's kind of why I haven't been on my doing my show and stuff because I've been thinking about that and just getting into work and putting this out, So
Yeah.
I kind of I applied to 6 schools, and I got six
Okay.
no's. That's what it came down to. I got 6 no's. It was
Okay.
a tough decision for the schools. I guess I had really good letters of rec. I graduated top of my class. My LSAT was like the mid score. It was like the average. It was in the average. But it just wasn't good enough. So
Okay.
young guy. The average age now is 25 or so for law students.
Is that
So
right?
I
Okay.
so there was kind of that too. But so that didn't work out. So that's okay. So I went to
Hmm.
the job market. I applied to some private jobs and interviewed for the county job. And luckily I got the county job, so I took that. And yeah, now I'm doing all social media for Suffolk County Fire Rescue and Emergency Services. So they do all the organization for trainings and for support for the fire departments. Because Long
Okay.
Island's a little weird because we have about 100 and I want to say 109 to like 150 maybe different departments across
Wow.
Long Island. So there's a lot.
Yeah.
So we're responsible for like 13,000 people
Wow.
with that. And then for my job, the marketing side, our base is every resident in Suffolk, so 1.5 million people. So really,
Oh, is
my
that all?
focus is yeah. So my focus just been growing our social medias and stuff, but our Frez does pretty well as far as like views and stuff. I've been experimenting with some videos and interviews with some people, and last month we did close to 500,000 views in total
Wow.
on just organic growth. It's just purely
Congratulations.
organic. Yeah, purely organic growth.
Oh,
No
I
paid
think we dropped a little
promotions,
bit.
no
Are you still there?
zero marketing budget
I
as
can't hear
far as
you.
that month went. Just reaching out and talking, and we
Are you there?
have uh, government
Oh, there. Okay,
assets that
there
are
you are.
yeah, we have government
Okay.
assets at
Cool.
our disposal and stuff, but for that it was just no paid advertisements, just legislators posting us out, people posting us out, and that was it. So I don't want to say I'm the
Now,
common denominator, but I'll take credit for it.
yeah, no, and the camera glitched out just a little bit. So you said you got a 500,000 views last month. What was the
Yeah.
bar? What were you going against? What, or did you establish the social media, or did you have at least a little bit of a comparative?
Yeah, that's a good question. So they didn't really have. So my role is like they created the role because
Okay.
they needed it. They didn't
Yep.
have like a central person for dealing with like social media manager and then doing press and community outreach. So really my
Okay.
thing isn't just social media. It's supposed to be more of like going out and talking to people and meeting people in the community, getting them involved and giving them fire
Sure.
safety knowledge, things like that. So that's what I really love about it because you get to meet so many people.
Hmm.
Like today I did a video for CERT, which is the community group of people that if there's like a hurricane or something
Okay.
else, those are the people that go and help in the
Okay.
community. So they're trained by Suffolk County, and it was a program started by FEMA, but now
Oh, that's what I was
FEMA's
going to
gone.
ask. It sounds sort of
Yeah,
FEMA adjacent. Yeah.
yeah, but now FEMA's gone. So
Oh,
because of the
okay.
executive order, FEMA's gone. So we've been kind of like doing the advertising differently, but we're putting it out for as far as certs go because all those people will stay and they respond. But it was cool to meet them today. So I met them today. We did this cool video, kind of like an interview type style video, which I'll edit and put up. So I like doing
That's
all
how
that.
you meet people, right? That, we
Yeah,
say it's not, strictly social media, but quite frankly, that's the fastest way to grow a community. And then, they'll follow along and be aware of things because it's in your consciousness. If it's in your feed, it's in your orbit. And I think that's a great way to grow it. And just to kind of back up to what you had said earlier, that
yeah,
so you got the nose, and but that's okay, and then you pivoted. I think if we
yeah,
can sort of zoom in on that, I think that's where a lot of people feel it's hard to pivot, right? They get
yeah,
mired in the, but what does this mean? What will people think? Is it a failure? Is it whatever? Like and that's why I wish I could bottle whatever it is you have, because I love your, and that's okay. It wasn't part of the plan. And now it really worked out so well because you have this awesome job, and
yeah,
it's very stable, and it's a job most people would really love to have. And oh, by the way, they'll pay for some of law school or all of law
yeah,
school. So it's sort of, whether it's God's plan or your plan, or it kind of, the fact that you rolled with it and pivoted, I think that's the thing. And we were talking about, like, I saw something on TikTok yesterday that kind of got me thinking, because I knew we were going to chat today about good being the enemy of great, and then kind of perfection ruining really good. So there's two
yeah,
things, and Voltaire, I guess, knew what he was talking about, that being satisfied with just being okay, where good is the enemy of great, but then obsessing about perfection, you'll miss being really, really good. And I think, kind of talking about that, I think a lot of people suffer from that. And I used to, I'm not as crazy as I used to be. But do you think, like, was it hard for you to pivot?
yeah. No, that's a really good question. So, yeah, I'm sorry, I talk in circles sometimes, but
Are you
as
kidding?
far
This is
as
why I adore you, because I am one big circle. I'm a whirling dervish, and I've got ideas, and I love your
yeah,
chit chat. So keep it rolling. Don't change anything. You're good.
yeah, no, so yeah, no, it's just, um, it, for graduation, I was really excited. Like going into, I graduated May, and then getting out, you had to find, applying to all these jobs and stuff, and so not only did the law schools say no and all that, I was waiting on one, and they held out for 6 months, and then they said no. So that was like, so I applied in February, and then I got my nose months later. So that was kind of tough, but
Yeah.
I'm one with the Voltaire quote, and with it's God's plan. Whatever happened, that can happen. I'm a big. I love the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I love the Stoic ideas with that, but I did the best I could for it, and then it just didn't pan out. But that's okay,
Mhm.
because if I wanted to still pursue it, I can. That's the real plan. But the job
Do you
market's
have advice?
really
Do you have advice for somebody that maybe struggles with the pivot? That sort of ruminates in what could be, or what should have been, or what could have been,
yeah,
and how do you get out of that so you're not stuck in, like, quicksand?
yeah, yeah. I I think that the most depressing or most upset things that bothers us all the time is the things that could be and don't happen. I think those are always the most, like, things that make us upset. But your situation is always usually better than what it was before, and a lot of people would love your situation that you have right now. So, not that like you're better than anyone, but just that you should be thankful, because there's a
Yeah.
ton of other people that would love to be in your shoes and do what you're doing, even if you think you'd love to be in someone else's. I think
Yeah.
there's this saying, I see it like online a lot. It's like, uh, the guy waiting for the bus wants to be the guy on the bike, and the guy on the bike wants to be the guy in the car, and the guy in the car wants to be the millionaire in the sports car, and the millionaire in the sports car wants to own, he wants to be in first class, and the guy in first class wants to own a jet. So there's always
Yeah.
somebody that would love to be in your shoes, and just be thankful for what you have. So that's kind of the philosophy I tend to go by. I think that's the better one, instead of like
Yeah.
being down and gloomy. But
Yep.
you can always pivot, um,
Mhm.
adapt on different things. So
And I think the idea that in a good way, I mean this, most people don't care. And I say that not out of they couldn't care less about you, but the idea is that if they like or love Tim Nigro, it would be in any, they want you in their life and they obviously want you to be happy, but they're not really going to, whether you're a lawyer and it ever says Esquire after your name or not, you're a fine individual. And I think kind of knowing that, most people are not thinking of you in that way, and whatever measuring stick you think, it's just that's not the reality, and that just be you. And I
yeah,
think being really thankful for what you have, because again, I always think to myself, man, there are times where you might be the richest person in the room and then you might be the poorest, and that's okay. And just the idea that you're still you and your circumstance doesn't change, but the audience around you. And the idea is that the goalposts will always move, so have goals, but don't always be chasing and not enjoying what you have now because of what you want 10 years from now, or 10 minutes from now. And allow
yeah,
yourself a little pity party, right? Like, hey, I'm going to have a bad day. I'm going to shake it off. I'm going to sit in my annoyance. I'm going to, again, have a pity party for one, and then set a time that it's over. Like, I'm going to go to bed, I'm going to wake up, and it's over. I'm not going to pick it up tomorrow. Because I think sometimes when you brush it aside and you're always perfect Pollyanna and nothing gets you down, sometimes that doesn't allow you to work through your emotions of being disappointed or depressed or,
yeah.
upset by something. But yeah, so you graduate, you get some no's, and then you get this yes. And at what point did it feel like to you that, man, I'm so glad the law school said no, because I'm in this great situation now to get law school paid, and that is a giant gift, right? And at
Yeah.
what point did you feel like, did you win the lottery?
Well, I mean, I was just happy to even get a job because there was like it's a tough market.
Yeah, it
I have
is.
friends that I know people that were still looking, and to get hired, like not even um 2 months, about 2 months after graduation, it was kind of like a big thing, So I was really thankful for that, and yeah, no, it's just I had friends that would call out and they'd tell me about law school, blah, 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 and everything else. Where I'm like, I'm happy with what I'm doing. I kind
Yep.
of wanted to do it, um, and they're doing their own thing. I think kind of view it that like it's not a race. Like
Mm,
you'll get there when you get there. And then another one that kind of like some quotes that I just like love that comes to mind. And I wish they teach more of it in schools, like for the philosophy side of things, because it's just a way of
yeah.
thinking. But there's this quote from Seneca, I think it is, that's like literally you're. He didn't say literally, he's a Roman guy. He probably said something with like Vesus
Yeah,
or whatever. But
sure.
he was, it was like, uh, you're just competing for inscriptions on your headstone, basically. Like it's all vanity,
Oh, yeah.
So 100 years from now, it I know I hate it's not nihilistic that I'm saying this. Just like 100 years from now, it doesn't really matter. But that's
Oh,
not an
yeah.
excuse to like not just do what you
Well,
gotta
and that's
do.
that's the balance we're kind of talking about, right? We're being a driven, motivated self-starter, and then how do you keep that in check and balance where it doesn't matter? And again, they always say,
Yeah,
on your tombstone or on your deathbed, no one ever said, "I wished I worked more." And
it's
then,
always
but again, like you
regrets.
said, that
Yeah,
doesn't, give you the license to sort of like, don't have
yeah.
any drive.
I think
But
the way people should decide different things is like, and it's the Jeff Bezos said it best. I think he was like, if I'm 80 years old. Will I regret not having
Mhm.
done
Yep,
X or Y or
yep.
Z or something else? And I think that's the real question you should ask. Like if an opportunity comes up and you see it and you're like, will I one day regret not
Yep.
pursuing this or not doing this or doing something? You might regret.
That's a great measuring stick, because then
Yeah,
it kind of, you in the moment can kind of check with yourself. And if it doesn't feel right and you're like, I'll be okay at 80. I'm good if I let this one go. And I think that, at least for my age, I guess, that's why me getting into the podcast space for me or social media, I don't genuinely care how a video does, but I want to show growth
Yeah.
on my channel and I want to do well. If I do anything, I want to do it well, but my self-worth is not derived by the rest of the world getting the memo that Jamie has a podcast, because I
Yeah.
realized the world was fine without it and it'll go on. But at the end of the day, like I do it with the best of intentions and you kind of hope and, you pray you want to make a go of it. You want to make a living doing it. But again, if that's not to be, so be it. But I think when maybe there's more people your generation that are like so beholden to the likes, the clicks, the
Yeah.
adoration, where for me, I'm too old to care. So,
Yeah, no. I think there's a lot of that going on because I think there's a whole market for that
100%.
now. I mean, there's probably billions of dollars in that market, but I mean, if
Mm-hmm.
you can get like even, I mean, one person is a lot, but like
Yep.
10 people to listen to something
Mm-hmm.
and admire it, that's like a big time. I listen to a lot of like business guys too, and the guy from Airbnb, his name
Yes.
escapes me, but he was literally like, focus on making those people happy, like the 100 people. Like if you get 100
Mm-hmm.
users or something, just focus on them. What do they
Yep.
want? Go in their head, and then if they're happy, they'll tell more people.
So
Um,
that actually leads me right to sort of you taking the leap to self-publish your book,
yeah.
because a lot of people wait. Like I saw, and I didn't jot down his name, but he kind of yells on TikTok, but all of his advice is great.
Yeah.
And I'm blanking on his name, and that's embarrassing, but I'll put it in the show notes. And
Oh,
he
the
was
business
talking.
guy, right?
Yes, and he's always
Okay.
yelling, and I love it because I'm a yeller, and he's a Jets fan. His mom made him a sweater, and I almost cried right before I came on this watching that video. But the idea, he was going over a business model of a gentleman that cleans garages and then buys whatever the client doesn't want. And he's like, man, this was my business model. And he's yelling, and he's like, quit your effing job, go do it for a living. And maybe that is, it sounds crazy advice, but if you wait till everything is perfect, no one would get married, no one would have kids, no one would start a business. Because I'm 15 years into owning a business, and there are days where I'm like, what the heck? When does this get easier? And then there are days where I'm like, whoo, finally it paid off. So if you
Yeah.
wait for things to be perfect, you'll never do it. So what made you just say, kind of, if I could say it, screw it, I'm going to do the book
Yeah.
myself, and walk us through that, because maybe somebody watching this, maybe it's not a book, maybe it's a business, or maybe they want to start an athletic endeavor, or they want to have kids, or whatever it is, and they're ruminating, right? So help people pull the trigger.
Yeah, no. For me, I think a lot of times is there's a lot of people that say they wish something was
Hmm.
there. Like they have this great idea and they're like, "Oh, I wish." And it's gonna sound crazy, but on Long Island, the main one is a drag strip. They want like a
Okay.
race strip for people to
Okay.
race. And so I was like, why doesn't someone just build one? You know what I mean? Like there's an
Mhm.
old uh, Long Island used to have this like military complex or whatever, and there's the old Grumman Air Force Base. I'm like, someone should just raise the money, get it. I mean, it's I'm sure the liability is huge, but you got a racetrack right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, it was kind of like there's a lot of people that say they want to do something, they just don't do it. So for my book
I think
was,
people are lazy.
yeah, that too. But
And maybe that's controversial, but not for nothing. But you can sit around and wish, 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 but
it won't
you've got to
happen.
kind of
Yeah,
get off your ass and do it. And
yeah,
maybe that sounds crass, but at the end of the day, if you really want the put it out on social. Hey, how can we crowdsource it? They have a GoFundMe for like the rain. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
there's a GoFundMe for everything. So, but that takes effort, right? And it takes planning, and it takes nuance, and it takes a lot of
yeah.
late nights and shaking hands and kissing babies and stuff. And people are like, ah, you don't want it that badly if you're not willing to work for it.
Yeah,
So,
I think the stakes are the thing at too. I think the stakes are something. Like if you like really depend on it working, it will usually work. But for me, my I was in the honors program, so
Hmm.
I had to do a thesis. But writing the
Okay.
thesis was it was really annoying. But I knew I wanted to turn mine into something that I could like promote for myself on a topic that's new that hasn't been put out yet in the world of politics. So I wanted to add value to that, kind of voice my opinion on some ideas that were out
Hmm.
there, kind of get into it. Because I wrote up papers in the past at school, and I had professors that loved them. I had professors that hated them.
Okay.
None of mine got published. I remember one paper that like freshman year, the professor's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna select research papers, and if they're really good, they'll publish." I had friends that got them. Mine never got published. So
Okay.
and I never thought it was like material based. I always thought like I knew what I was talking about. I had something to say. So I just stuck with it. And then I took that. At Siena, they have a committee. So there's people that read it and everything. It took a long time, but if you like, if you have one big goal and you just break it down into like a really small ones, like
Hmm.
just set some time during the day, write as much as you can, you know, have a page limit, you'll get it done. So I think Stephen King writes that way. He does a page a day. So if you do a page a day, you know, in a month you'll have like 31 pages.
Hmm.
And I mean, and then when you format it to like a book on Amazon, that turns into like 72 because of like the page length and how big the font is and blah, 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 blah. So I mean, you could write a really long book if you put 2 months aside and
Yep.
you
So
just
how did you
write.
get it on Amazon? Did you have to submit it or?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So the thing with Amazon that's super cool is there's no like gatekeeping. You can go
Mm.
on there and just do it yourself. Just go on, you take the so I type mine in Google Docs, just straight up Google
Hmm.
Docs. Mine was kind of academic like because there's like footnotes and stuff like that, but
Sure.
you just change the formatting of it on Google Docs to fit the page length. So, like, this is the book. That's like the page length. To give some context, it's probably like a little longer than a dollar bill, I want to say. But
Okay.
yeah, so I typed it up on the regular side at 8 by 11, format it, and then it turns it into this thing, this beautiful thing. So yeah, it
Well,
was really
it's
cool.
really a smart business model for them, right? Because you're assuming all the risk. It's your time, it's your effort,
Well,
and
that's yeah,
they're providing the platform. And if it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell. And if it does, it does. And they make money, and their drive all they
yeah,
want is drive traffic to their site. And you can pick up the toothpaste and Tim's book and maybe like an e-bike while you're on there. So it's just
yeah,
all about, they get goods and services populated for free, which is every business
yeah.
owner's dream. Trust me.
And the cool thing is though, like there, it is risk on you, I guess, for time, but
Hmm.
there's no cost for me.
Right, right.
Doesn't cost me anything. It just costs my time. I was gonna do it anyway. I wanted
Hmm.
to do it, so like if you just want to write something, just go ahead and do it. And then when someone buys it, there's no risk for them. It's all digital. They just
Yep.
print it. So they print it. The margins are very good. This book costs about $2.94 to make. I sell them on Amazon for about 20 bucks.
Nice.
So they go straight to you. I make about Amazon takes a cut. I make
Yep.
a little over $9 on every book, so it's pretty cool. Good margins on that. But yeah, it's super. You can do pretty well on it if you grow your base and everything. So I highly
Hmm.
recommend it. A guy from my church came up to me the other day and he was like, I told him about it. He's like, "Oh, this is so cool. My wife wrote a book and she wrote this book and she's like, she has the transcript and everything, and she submitted it to like all these publishing companies in New York City. They all said no, and so she
Right.
was looking to get into self-publishing
Self-publishing.
and how to do it. And I'm like, you're talking to the right guy. It's super easy.
Yep.
It's called Kindle Direct Publishing, so kdp.com. You can go on there and just it's all print on demand. It's free to sign up, free to use. I'm sure there's some fine print in there for but like this is all copyrighted to you. This is
Right.
your intellectual
Right.
property, and Amazon just prints it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I've just been I'm doing a giveaway. It's giving out a free copy, mailing copies. I mailed a copy to the chair of the Congressional Digital Assets Committee. Kind of give him
Ooh.
one. Mailed
Well,
some out to people. So yeah, it was cool.
so this is where we're going to need your expertise, because this will be my second Boomer and Geo reference of the day. Back during COVID, I watched like every second of the show, and coming out of it, they were talking about Bitcoin.
Yeah,
And I downloaded Robinhood. Geo was talking about it, and I bought like, whatever I could afford. I mean, barely anything. And I think I made like $2,500 in no time on it. And then that's kind of where it stayed. But listen, I've never done anything, but I didn't know Robinhood existed. It wasn't the playground that I dabbled in. So besides getting my crypto information from a sports talk show on CBS Sports, you've got to kind of break down, like, if people are wigged out by crypto, what is it? It sounds fake. It sounds made up.
yeah,
It's not real. Is this really the wave of the future? How do you take anybody from your age to 100 years old to like understand what the heck this is, and the fact that or could be very lucrative?
yeah. So Bitcoin it's cryptocurrency, so it's decentralized. It's just digital money. I view it as digital gold, but there's
Hmm.
no tangible thing in real life. It's just the ones and zeros on the computer. That's the value that's there. Essentially, and it's in my book too. I talk about it. What's currency? It's really whatever we say it is. For us in the
Yeah.
United States, it's little green bits of paper that have presidents on them, and
Yeah.
that's our that's our ones and zeros. Online, it's uh, ones and zeros. But the thing with cryptocurrencies is there's anonymity to them. If you were to transfer them on, not through the commercial wallets, but with uh, through the software, it's completely anonymous.
Hmm.
You can it can get broken down to over 100 decimal points. So which is something that our money can't do. If that's why
Right.
we can only go down to the tens. I mean the hundreds place, right? With the pennies. So there's that, and it's really good for. There's no real regulation for it. Is the
Right.
thing. So
Do you think regulation is coming because it's an
yeah, yeah,
opportunity to?
yeah.
Go
No.
ahead.
So as far as crypto goes, the U.S. government recognized it as currency to a very, a currency as in like currency that's recognized by the government. So they recognized it,
Right.
and they put some regulations out on these currencies because essentially it's money that's not coming from the government. So there's
Right.
no way to control it. There's no Federal Reserve that's issuing it. There's no central bank issuing it. And so my topic is
So who
central.
who is, just for the audience,
Yeah,
who is issuing it?
yeah, that's a great question. So as far as Bitcoin, Ethereum goes, it's all issued by the computer. There's no person behind it. It's all a bunch
Okay.
of algorithms. So basically, people mine it. It's like gold, where there's mining. So they mine the Bitcoin. There's a set amount. I think it's 21 million Bitcoin. They mine it, and then your
What
computer.
does and if we what does mining it mean? So we'll break
Yeah,
this down.
yeah,
Like, is it these are people, like, because I think a lot of people hearing this might be hearing these terms for the first time.
yeah. No, that's a
Okay.
great question. I'll break it down from the very beginning. So they a bunch of software engineers. They don't know who, and coders. Uh, for Bitcoin, it was Satoshi Nakamoto,
Okay.
and no one knows who that is. If it's a group of people, they don't know who he is. But he was online and he talked about using blockchain technology, which is
Hmm.
basically what it is. It's just bits of code knowing where all the other bits are in like a line, technology for finance and making a
Okay.
currency. And this whole idea that, you know, this could be a dollar, this could be a dollar, this could be a dollar, or coin, like we say in crypto, and they all know where each other is. And when we
Okay.
have transactions and one coin goes to another person, the coins in the block know where they are because of everyone else. So like if I'm online and I'm behind Jamie and I'll use my dog Shamrock's behind me, Shamrock can say Tim's between Jamie and myself. And
Okay.
so it's kind of that's the verification. So
Okay.
so this started on the internet and basically they issued 21 million coins and you back then you could mine it, so your computer could mine bitcoin. It's just solving complex computer or math equations. That's the way they get it.
Okay.
So instead of digging in the ground, your computer is solving complex math equations to get a part of a coin. So, but you're
So
competing against other
that's the
computers.
purchase. So purchasing is mining.
So that's a great question. So mining it is not purchasing it. Mining it
Okay.
is getting it a different way. So the
Okay.
way I like to view it is if you were to buy gold from a jeweler with money, or you were to get gold by physically mining it. That's kind
Okay.
of the difference. There's
Gotcha.
companies set up in Europe and I want to say Kazakhstan as well. They're just big warehouses full of computers that mine cryptocurrency. That's their whole business model. Their whole business model is running computers on the blockchain to mine the cryptocurrency. And
They get like an alert when they find some, or how do they know if the mining is working?
yeah, so that's a good question. It will go to your digital wallet, so you'll
Okay.
see it, you'll be alerted that you were rewarded it, but you're competing with everyone else in the world that's mining it. So as time went on, in the early days, you could probably run it on your own personal computer. Now, you have these, they're called, if you really want to, like for anyone listening, if you want to check it out, you look up crypto farms. There's
Yes,
these
I've heard
huge
of those.
servers. Yeah, and that's their whole business model. They take huge amounts of electricity though, but in return for
Is
getting
that what part is that a data center or is that something different?
so totally different, but
Okay.
they're so the data center would just be holding information for certain
Okay.
operations. So like an AI data center, those are going to be
Right.
huge. You're going to have to build those
Yeah,
everywhere.
they're building one 20 miles from here, and I
Well,
saw,
there you
I don't,
go.
yeah, and there, people in the community are yakking about the energy, and I was like, I got a lot going on. I
Yeah,
can't be worried about
it's
this right now. But,
yeah, it's a huge amount of energy that's required to
okay.
mine these things. But it's completely it was very heavily influenced by the libertarian ideas that like government should just be out of everything. This is the free market. And so what ended up happening was after Bitcoin there was Ethereum. And with Ethereum, that was based in Russia. It was made by a Russian national, and theirs is the same thing as Bitcoin, but theirs is a whole platform based on blockchain that's completely different. It's based, like an internet service based off of blockchain
Okay.
technology. I was interested in it in school for other uses that hasn't been really explored yet. I'd love to explore them, like with I'm trying to get into the crypto field, and I'll get into that. But as far as in school, what really interested me was using blockchain for voting machines.
Okay.
Because with voting, the thing with Bitcoin is it's basically impossible to hack into it.
Okay.
You can't really hack into it. Now with the companies that give wallets, like I'm sure like Coinbase
Hmm.
and stuff like that, those are hackable. People can get into those. The stuff with Bitcoin is if you steal it, everyone's gonna know. So that's where you see cases where people are hacking into it. Now I only pay attention to Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Hmm.
Everything else, in my opinion, is garbage.
Okay.
I don't, for the most part, it's garbage. There's a
So
lot of
when I'm buying
Ponzi
a
scheme ones.
part of
Yeah,
a Bitcoin, a very
yeah.
tiny piece because it's $1 bajillion, who am I buying it from? Is it just like I use Robinhood, which is like a stock trading app or whatever, and they have mined it and I'm buying it from their inventory, or am I buying it from this blockchain anonymous source?
Yeah, that's a really good question. As far as that goes, it would be through the trading platform.
Hmm.
So it really depends. For a while, someone was telling me on Wall Street, you could go and trade money for Bitcoin.
Okay.
The first Bitcoin transaction where someone bought something was two pizzas from Papa John's, and they're called the $250 million pizzas. It's totally real. He bought it for like 50 Bitcoin or something, and those are worth like an insane amount of money now. But essentially, he had the pizza delivery guy. Someone bought the pizza for like $40, and in return, he gave him Bitcoin for the pizza. And
Can't believe it.
if he held on to those Bitcoins, he's like a multi-millionaire. But
Well, listen, I love pizza as much as the next person, but yikes,
yeah,
that's and I know there's a couple athletes years ago that got their contract instead of in sort of the regular financial terms, they asked for compensation in Bitcoin, or if they were doing a deal with an advertiser, they asked to be paid in Bitcoin instead of
yeah,
getting, let's say, $1 million for an endorsement deal. They got Bitcoin and obviously laughed all the way to the bank. But so
yeah.
what
No,
do you ever see it taking real hold, or what's the kind of future of it?
yeah. So I think those ones are the future, but there's no real market liquidity
Timeline?
for it
Okay.
because I think most people view it as an investment where they put their money in and they hope it goes
Right.
up as things get mined. Now I think it will level out because there's 21 million blocks, so there has to be a price where it's going to level out.
Right.
So what's the overall value of Bitcoin? I think it's higher than 123,000 since it is today. That's the price. I think it's way higher than that. But for me, I'm not really interested in like investing it. I'm working on a. I started a website a while ago, but I'm bringing it back up. That's my next call after this actually. But it's called ambiarc.com, and it's a place trying to make a marketplace, kind of like eBay, where people can
Okay.
go on and buy and sell things solely in Bitcoin and
Okay.
Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies. Because there's nothing like that. That's really the main thing. The CEO of Amazon kind of talked about that to shareholders to do, but I'd love to beat them and make a
Yeah.
website where people could do it. That's really the goal
Hmm.
with that. But I don't think that's as much I think there's a market for that. I think there's a market for people to get paid in it, sell things. Like if I could sell like my watch, and I don't want American dollars, I could sell it in Bitcoin. So I'm reaching out to some
Right.
business
So
owners trying to do.
how would someone, let's say you wanted to sell your car
Yeah,
and you would rather, let's say, $10,000, and
yeah,
somebody is willing to pay it in Bitcoin. How
yeah.
do they
How
okay,
they
so
do that?
I have Robinhood. I don't have 10,000, but let's say I'm gonna do that. How do I transfer it to you? Because I can buy it and sell
Yeah.
it. Do I liquidate it into my bank account, and then how do I get it to you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So that's kind of the goal that my website and kind of business would solve is kind of
Okay.
being that one main. And it was influenced, and I'll go on a little tangent because I know the whole history of all these things. There was a website called the Silk Road. I don't know if you're
Okay.
familiar with it. It
No, I'm
was
not.
okay. That's good because it was on the dark. It was on the dark web, Jamie. So if
Okay.
there was, it'd be. But this guy, he got pardoned not too long ago. He
Uh,
was sentenced to 10 life sentences, I think. He
oh,
made a website where you could buy and sell stuff in Bitcoin, but it was mainly used for legal stuff. So people were buying and selling weapons and drugs, and
oh,
it was totally unregulated. And so that's kind of the dangers with it. And the
okay.
thing with that is it's completely anonymous. So that was a huge court case. He got sentenced, but he was pardoned. He got a pardon,
How did
presidential
they find
pardon.
out who it was if it was anonymous?
Good question. I'm pretty sure they tracked it back to the servers.
Server. Okay.
It was like
Yep.
there was an FBI informant that got involved.
Ah, okay.
So and with other places on the actual internet. But the main way to do it's with wallets. So there's companies with
Hmm.
wallets like Coinbase. So my website, when it's up, you'll be able to just buy and sell stuff through a Coinbase account wallet. Which there's not one shop. I'm surprised no one else has done it. So I'm trying to get on board.
Yeah. Because you would think, like, I'm actually working on a new website with Shopify,
No, there you go.
and
Yeah,
and you would think, so it's your Visa, Mastercard, Discover, American Express, PayPal, and then Klarna and all that, like Bitcoin. Do you see it ever becoming like a payment option?
yeah, I do. I think it's a
Okay.
good one now. I'm trying to. I reached out to a few, but I had to pull the site down. I just got so busy with school. I'm gonna put
Hmm.
it back up. But yeah, no, I reached out to a few car dealerships trying to get a car. I think that will be cool for marketing, kind of sell a car in Bitcoin. But the
Yeah.
problem is you need the sellers, to want to accept that, and there
Right.
is a risk with it. It will go down. In my opinion, it
Yep.
will go up eventually, but it could go
Right.
down. So it's super volatile. That's the thing with those
Yeah.
cryptocurrencies. Now, for mine is central bank, so that's the real future. I think of it.
Yeah. So explain that kind of tentacle of everything.
Yeah. So that's when the Federal Reserve will issue digital U.S. dollars in the form of a digital currency.
Okay.
So there's a possibility that cash will die, and that's something I kind of examine in the book. And I also talk about, there's stuff that we don't really think about. It's like what's currency, what's trade, what even is a central bank currency. So all of our money, that's Federal Reserve notes. It comes from the Federal Reserve, and they go to the banks. But essentially, what with central bank digital currency is you'll be able to not only like have a digital currency from the U.S. government, but the
Mm.
government could be able to control it. We're talking levy taxes instantly, turn off money,
Yeah.
essentially
That's.
add expiration dates to money.
Hmm.
Um, you know, all social benefits could be done instantly through accounts. There's no real regulation for it because it's coming straight
Hmm.
from the reserve now.
That's
So
frightening.
yeah, it is. It's super frightening. And one of the other things is you can make like a national ledger of every U.S. citizen in the
Hmm.
country, what they buy, where they buy it. If they're not supposed to buy something, the transaction magically doesn't happen. And if there's a future of no currency, which I mean, there is a possibility that will happen,
Right.
uh, where there's no physical cash, that's where crypto comes in to help because there's no privacy in buying anything like in China, and that's in here too. In China, they have it. The Bahamas, they have it, but in China, they have like 27.5 million people that are using central bank digital currency from the government. And when they tested it out in the Beijing Olympics, there raised a lot of security concerns because they could pierce into what you're buying, kind of.
Well, it's your social score, isn't it? Where, if you
Yeah, yeah,
jaywalk, they can, penalize you, and, it's so punitive, and it ties into your money. And I think that's what frightened people, certainly through COVID, where you can call it a conspiracy theory, but there was a lot of issues about, what people's, freedoms being infringed upon. And then if you're saying, I don't have any cash, I can't put it under the proverbial mattress, how do I
yeah.
pay for goods and services? And if I step out of line and do something I don't like, we don't live in China, and people are very nervous that that type of freedom to move around and buy goods and services that you want are going to be controlled.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's super scary. It's also, I think that's the future of trade.
Yep.
I say it in my book, right? Future of trade and future of world trade and politics, right? I
Hmm.
think that's the future of trade too, because sanctions. We
Yep.
don't really think about it. Like we just say, "Oh, we're putting a sanction on a country." Well, what does that mean? There's something called the SWIFT banking system, which is the banking system that governments use and banks use, and it's run on the internet, and it's a system of itself, and that's how the sanctions work, where we kind of block or add percentages on their bank fees coming out of their country and things
Okay.
like that. But with a central bank currency, I don't need a gold reserve. So I mean, we already are off the gold standard, but it makes the money even uh, more fake than what it already
Yep.
is. And there's like in the instance of China, they could say to a U.S. company, "Hey, if you want to do business with us, you're going to have to do business in our currency, and if you have to
Okay.
use their currency, there could be back doors, there could be stuff that you're not aware of that they can pierce into your business secrets, steal secrets, stuff
Mm.
like that." Which I'm it's been the case with the Chinese government. They when Boeing tried to make planes there, they said you have to sell us the trade secrets or we're not
Right.
going to let you
Right.
come in. So yeah, it's just crazy the possibilities of it going south. I kind of argue for it though because I think we do need it. Uh,
Do you
but
find talking to, I assume you talk to your parents about this, are they are people your age more kind of up for anything? Let's shake it up, let's do something different. And are your people, your parents' generation, kind of like, this is scary. Why are we even thinking about this? Or are they, tell me more, are they intrigued?
I think most people that I talk to are intrigued. I was out with a bunch of friends at like a bar. And I was talking to this guy about it, one of our friends, and he was like, "Bro, that's crazy," that blows me away. But
Right.
there's just no one was really talking about it. That's kind of why I chose to research it. I found it really interesting. I
Hmm.
read a lot of books on digital currencies and stuff like that. I just like learning about them and talking about them, but there's not been a lot of real people interested in it. It's kind of like a
Right.
niche thing, but I think it will like explode eventually. So I'm hoping to profit off of it a little bit, but also
Well,
kind
and
of
that's the thing,
educate
right?
people on it.
If you can be that boil it down into plain English, walk me through what the ups and
Yeah,
downs. It's volatile. It's basically, it's not a stock, but it moves with that sort of investment type where cash is cash, a dollar's worth a dollar, and it is
yeah,
what it is. We can get into the particulars, but I think if you can be the voice to that and come at it with an open mind, I think is the point, right? You're open to the pluses and the minuses of it, where trying to explain it to another generation, there might be a lot of pushback. But if you can be that beginning conversation person,
yeah,
I think
yeah,
you really do have quite a market. So
yeah. I think
so
my
hopefully everybody will go buy your book.
I hope so. I hope so. It's pretty comprehensive. There's not many central
Yeah.
bank books out there. There's very few. A lot of people my age aren't really interested in politics or
Hmm.
banking, so I kind of have that. But uh, yeah, no, just no one's really been talking about these things, and I think they're the future. I kind of, and that's why I sent it to the congressional committee on it. I'm really scared that we're gonna fall behind and kind of
Yeah.
lose our place in trade, world trade, as far as the
And
United
we
States.
already are not going to fall behind. I feel like we
Yeah,
already are. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I in the book I cover kind of like the early starts of our system and kind of how we began our program, but we've since stopped it. Like it's done.
Okay.
No one's doing any work on it as we speak. Meanwhile, in other countries, they have 30 million people using their own, testing it
Right.
out,
Right.
and
So could you
it's
just start
scary.
your own? Could you start Tim Nigro currency as long as you develop a blockchain? Is that a stupid question?
No, no, that's a good
Oh,
question. So you could definitely start your own
hmm.
cryptocurrency. It's not all the materials that you need, like all the information and stuff, is online. If you have a friend that knows how to code, you could definitely make your own. Um,
But
but
do you see people doing that? Or,
well, yeah,
like,
I mean,
but I'm confused how it gets assigned a value. I guess that's where I get a little confused.
yeah. So with the central bank digital currency, that will be assigned the value from the government. So it's the
Okay,
exact same thing as cash. They're just
gotcha.
putting it online. So this will come straight from the Federal Reserve, issued by the U.S. Treasury, and sent out. And this is the most stable form because it's backed by the United States government. It's coming
Hmm.
from the government. Whereas
Hmm.
all these crazy other coins, which are crypto, those are not coming from a bank. They're not coming from a central authority. So they're two polar opposites. So like central banks on one side and cryptos on the other. They're
Okay,
two separate things. They use the same technology in certain ways, but they're totally different. One's super libertarian, if you think about it, and one's like authoritarian. So
so
um,
how did Bitcoin become like the popular kid, and some of the other ones can't get there? Like, what made that one? Was it because it was first? What makes that
yeah,
one the one that everybody knows by name?
one, it was because it was first.
Okay,
Two, it's not like a Ponzi scheme. I think there's a lot of like just stupid coins out there,
right,
and if you really think about it, it's the network of computers that it has. Bitcoin's all over the world. As far
right.
as the network goes, people are mining it and stuff like that. So we've assigned a lot of value to it. They were the
Hmm.
first ones, and there's coins that are just, in my opinion, they're just dumb. Like they're just super dumb. I mean, you had a whole bunch of celebrities making their own coin,
Right, right,
and they were like a Ponzi scheme because they would buy it, people would buy into it, so they're getting parts of it, and
right.
then the amount's lowering, right? So if you have 20 million and you know 19 millions sold, and people are saying it's worth $500, and you're the creator of it, and you created it when it was zero, you've made a lot of money, and you hold
Hmm.
on to those 10 million or a million that's left, and you just sell it. You and you sink it. You've made a lot of money, and
Right.
everyone else is up a creek without a paddle.
Yep.
And
Yep.
with Bitcoin, there's been people that have mined it and they've just sat on it. Now you can, with the, it's traded, so you can sell it for uh, U.S. dollars. So like on Robinhood, they could sell it. I think through the I don't know if I think there's ETFs and index ones with Bitcoin on the
Yeah.
Nasdaq.
Yeah. Hmm.
So
Yep.
they just put the order in the machine and it just sell. But like if you had one of these
Right.
Bitcoin whales sell like I don't know 10, I mean like a million crypto coins, like the price will go down.
Right.
That's inevitable. But that means
Okay.
there's more in the market. So with Bitcoin, it's all about supply and demand. There's 21 million coins. That's what makes it super volatile. People trust it. It's the longest one. The software
And
is good.
it's capped at 21 million, you said? That's
Yeah,
all that exists?
it's
Okay.
capped at 21 million. There's an
Who
interview
came
with
up with that number? It seems, is that arbitrary, or is that as
no, they
much as the
purposely
algorithm
made
will allow?
yeah yeah they purposely made it so the people that started it they made it that way. It's
Okay.
all as far as I know, it's open source code. So like if you
Okay.
wanted to add to it, you could. But I think it has to be a collective group that in the end approves it. But no one knows who like physically started it, which adds
Yeah.
mystery to it. Like it's super
Yeah.
weird. So no one knows who started it. It could be some guy, it could be a woman somewhere, but no one knows.
Yeah.
And they have, and this was really interesting too. BlackRock, the
Hmm.
investment group, has the most Bitcoin.
Shocking.
They
That's
bought
probably
it
the
all.
least surprising thing I'm going to hear all day.
Yeah, they bought it all up. It used to be the creator, Satoshi Nakamoto. He has the second most, but he's some guy somewhere. He's got $8 billion worth of Bitcoin sitting somewhere, and
Bonkers.
just a regular guy somewhere. There's been theories as to
Hmm.
who it is. You know, if you see your neighbor buy a fancy car all of a sudden out of the blue, maybe they're the guy. But yeah, no, they just they don't know. But I saw an interview with Jamie Dimon with Chase Bank,
Okay. Hmm.
and he was like, I think they're pretty scared of it because this is a possibility. I don't mean to change the market here, but there, and he's right. There's a small possibility for that, in my opinion. But I'm sure other people would have seen it. It could be hidden somewhere and we all missed it. But there's the small possibility that once it reaches 21 million, we're not there yet. It's getting close. But once it reaches 21 million,
Right.
it just evaporates. Like it just wipes it, which would be crazy, which would be insane. I don't know what would happen. But
Yeah.
yeah, he talked about that being a theory. Now he's not really a technical guy,
Okay.
but he went to Harvard Business School.
But it
Got his
does
MBA
track
from there.
the logic, right? So if it's nothing tangible and we're
Yeah,
trusting that we own this nebulous thing that's floating out there
it's just a digital
somewhere,
asset. Yeah.
right, and I can't go to my closet, I can't put it on, I can't touch it and feel it, I
Yep.
can't drive it. And then once it maxes it and somebody could just, we've all lost, I'm older than you are, but we've all lost a document in the computer. Like it was there, now it's gone, and no one can explain it. What if that turns into like your investment and it's just gone and there's nowhere to track it? You don't know who started it, you don't know where did it
Yep.
go. It's the
It
ultimate
could
where's Waldo.
evaporate. It could just evaporate and it's all becomes worthless all of a sudden.
Oh,
There's that theory. There is that possibility, and the people that make out with it are the ones that liquidate it. Now with this,
right,
with central bank digital currency, that's coming from the government, so it's
right.
insured by them. It's if something happens, I'm sure there'll be some
Recourse, yeah,
precaution for that. It's coming
yeah,
from a trusted authority, right?
yeah.
To an extent. So there's that plus with it, but there's also the people are
The
pretty
control.
confused. There's the control. There's also the like we just it. There's the plus side too that it's basically insanely cheap to make money at that point.
Hmm.
Because I think you saw the thing where it's like a penny costed like 3 cents to make.
Right. Yep, yep.
This would just be some clicks. I mean, it's going to be a ton of money in electricity, so the
Right.
electricity companies will make a killing off of it. But it's just we can add money to the market like insanely fast.
Right.
So it could change monetary policy, because it could be instant. Like you could have instant rates on loans from the when they announce a loan, it could
Hmm.
affect all of the assets, or they could devalue the dollar, and they could affect all bits, and you'll be able
Right.
to see it in real time.
Right.
But yeah, but someone will. I think it will make another financial market for running the code, storing the data, which I kind of want to get into it. I definitely want to get into it somehow. And even the fees from it. So the Fed kind of partnered with MIT to develop the first models, and ours were pretty good. It's called the Hamilton model. You can look it up. It's
Okay.
all in my book. But
Ah,
you can check it out. It's in my book. You could see that. But they
so
ran the
would this be
test
the
of the
kind of
model.
law you would want to go into? Because I would think as this develops, the law, the way things are litigated, is this really an untapped market for future law students?
Yeah, no, I think so. I think there's a market for digital asset law. For me though, I'm more interested in being the actual business that, or the
Okay.
guy that runs the code and does the fees and everything,
Gotcha.
because that's where the real work comes in. Because you'd be responsible for running the transactions and storing the data and keeping
Okay.
it safe. And we're not talking safe for like your customers, but safe for the entire country, like the
Right.
American public. So that's like
No pressure.
it's a big thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as accounts go, There's no plans to really, um, and I can't speak for the Fed. I can just speak what I've read that they've
Sure.
said. But there's no plans to make independent accounts with the Federal Reserve.
Okay.
So most likely it will be through the commercial banks, and they'll take a fee. They'll probably charge a fee for electricity unless it's subsidized by taxes. So in my book, I kind of explore that and talk about like the possibilities with that, and I kind of share my opinion on what I think on it. But yeah, there's a lot of possibilities out there, and we'll see what will happen because we have a crypto reserve now in the United
Yep.
States.
Yeah.
So our government's been buying up crypto as a form of reserve money in a way, which is super interesting because
Yeah.
10 years ago it was not considered money at all.
So is
Well,
it that
10,
old?
yeah.
Is crypto? It goes back 10 years.
Yeah, Bitcoin goes back to 2009, so 16.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So 16, yeah.
Okay.
Back then you could, in 2009, I think you could start to buy it.
Wow.
Um,
See,
yeah,
that
so there's
surprises me.
it's
See, we
pretty
learned
old.
something
So
new.
yeah, there you go. But it goes to show though, like if something's interesting, start it
Mm-hmm.
off. Won't be slow. It could be slow for the next 16 years, but then it skyrockets for sure. So there's but I think it will exponentially kind of explode the technology now because they say the AI market's gonna
Yep.
be like $5 trillion or something crazy, some crazy number. I think this will expand. There's a company that just went out. The guys on the 30 under 30. It's called Spade.
Okay.
Didn't hear about it, but they do all the databases for payment systems.
Ah.
Apparently, the credit card bureaus and credit card companies don't really know what people buy because the business owner is not really the best at keeping records for that. So they do all of that. So that's just one of the slow ways, or just one of the small companies as an example, because the banking industry is like they're operating on technology from the 60s still. So, you know, it's there's a big market opportunity, I think, for helping the banking industry and
Hmm.
kind of running the software and being on the foreground. I don't think, for this, you'll need the government to create it, create the software for it, just because that's the way it works. But I think, they'll probably contract off service providers, places to
Sure.
hold data sets, so warehouses will be built to store it and everything. But there's also the question of like IEDs, like what happens if there's a not IEDs, EMP strike, right? Electrical
Yep.
strike against us. What happens to our money and stuff like that? There's big questions that have to be answered with it that nobody really knows the answers to, and they're kind of
Tackling some big
tough.
topics here on Just Jamie today. Woo.
Yeah,
This is a heavy load. I gotta pick up these bags. That's a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
I
It's a
I
lot.
appreciate you walking through, and I know you've got another call, and we can pick up with
Yeah,
another episode down the line. But I'll
yeah,
link the
definitely.
how to buy your book. But I appreciate walking me through it because yes, I could go to the Google, I could try to read it, but then if I have a question here, I can just interrupt you and ask my question.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I hopefully
I
it
hope it
it
makes
opens.
sense. Yeah.
It sure does, and I'm going to order your book myself, but I want
I
to
have copies,
understand.
Jamie. I got copies here. I'll send you a copy.
But I want it autographed.
All right, I'll sign it.
Yes. See, I
I'll
mean,
send
that's
it
the only
over.
way to go. So when you get
Yeah,
it big, that's my crypto, your book. I'll be like, I have one of the original copies. But no, seriously, I want to know things. It's sort of like when, Aaron and Megan were first on TikTok. I wanted to be on it to sort of understand. And I'm in the business world, and I don't want anything to be out there that I don't understand. I can choose to
Yeah.
dabble or really go full into, but I don't want to be one of those people who like, I don't know what that is and dismiss it. So I want to know what it is, and
Yeah.
maybe I just only dabble in it, or maybe it becomes a bigger part of my world. But it's nice to kind of be able to have somebody explain it in terms that I think all of us can at least understand. And then if you're more interested after this conversation, you can go forth and buy the book and read some things about it, or maybe this is all you ever wanted and you leave it here. So I appreciate you taking the
Yeah, of
time.
course. This got your name on it, Jamie. I'll send this in the mail to you.
Yes.
Uh, you'll have to
And
tell me
that's
what you
and
think.
that's how you talk people into giving you free books. You just put them on the spot on
There
your
you go.
podcast. So
Yeah, I have a ton. I probably have 8 copies just sitting in a box.
nice.
You know, I
I
have
love
so
it.
many. So I will
Dude,
send
I
one
give
over
you
for
so much
sure.
credit for mailing it out to the head of that department. And listen, because you miss all the shots you don't take, and put a pin in the episode and bring it full around, is that
Yeah.
taking the risk, right? If you wait till it's perfect and you know the perfect note or what to say and what to send, you miss the opportunity. And like you said, the world is moving pretty quickly, and you want to be on the foreground. And it sounds like you're well on your way. And I love that you are a risk taker. So
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Jamie.
that.
I appreciate that. Yeah. No, I appreciate the opportunity. Come on, just Jamie. I've wanted to come on the show, you know? So yeah,
Well, you
thank
have
you.
an open invite anytime you want, and
I
like I said,
appreciate
send
it.
me the link for your episode, and people can kind of catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure we will do a part 3 soon. And,
Yeah,
thank
that'd
you,
be
and say hey
cool.
to the fam for me.
I will. I will, Jamie.
Okay,
Great.
bye,
We'll
Tim.
see ya.